If you're a principal or district administrator or thinking of becoming one, you don't want to miss today's episode of Wake Up with Jim. Good morning and welcome to a very special edition of Wake Up with Jim. Today I want to talk about a topic that's very important to me, and that's how you might be able to become an entrepreneurial administrator. It's important to me because I've been fortunate to be both. I was an assistant principal and principal here in Mountain View, California for over 10 years, and I've been lucky enough to be CEO of a number of startup companies here in Silicon Valley. It's my contention that we can be stronger administrators if we employ some of these entrepreneurial principles. Now, first, a disclaimer. Of course, CEOs in business don't have it all figured out. Matter of fact, there's a lot they can learn from administrators and principals here in our schools. Take, for example, Principal Jerry. His humor and his passion for teachers would be something that any CEO could learn from.
Our education is extremely stressful these days, and there are certain situations that are extra stressful. So I've got some emergency kits that I've made for educators to get through those stressful times. The first one is my indoor recess or emergency kit. Basically, when you have indoor recess and they're all driving you crazy, it's got some Dove chocolates and some earplugs and some extra strength NyQuil. And you just take that extra strength NyQuil and you can just take a nap in the back of the classroom. Another thing that's really stressful are parent conferences. So I've got this to get you through a parent conference. Basically what it is 7 little compartments, and in between each meeting with each set of parents, you just open up a compartment. It's got some chocolate pudding in there.
Well, thanks, Principal Jerry. I could do a whole webinar on what principals could teach CEOs and entrepreneurials. But for today, we're going to focus on what we can borrow from them. Silicon Valley is filled with entrepreneurs. But I think Silicon Valley is no longer a place, it's a mindset, an entrepreneurial mindset. So what does it mean to be an entrepreneur? Let's look at what Reed Hastings identifies as some key entrepreneurial traits.
Will, that desire for the institution, the company to be great, and your own role in that is secondary, and you authentically express that in whatever ways you do, then you'll be greatly accepted. Okay, and so that's all it takes, is to be authentic and not try to be something else, and to fundamentally care at your core about what's good for the company.
So first and foremost, being entrepreneurial means being about inspiring, being authentic, being passionate. So how can you be an entrepreneurial administrator? Well, I put down some questions that you could ask yourself. No answers today, but just questions. Well, you probably recognize many of these CEOs. They ask themselves these kinds of questions, and these are the questions that I think you need to ask yourself about your position and your school. How can I change the world? How can I ensure success? How will I be able to innovate and create? What can I do to propel growth? And what am I going to do here at this school or district to create a winning culture? And as a final word of advice today, to be an entrepreneurial administrator, it means you must follow your heart and your intuition. Steve Jobs said it well at a graduation address he gave at Stanford.
So don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary.
And that's such great advice. Follow your heart and intuition. Because I know as administrators, you want to innovate. You want to create a winning culture. You want to be an entrepreneurial administrator. As you can tell, I have a lot of passion about this topic and probably could talk all day. If you want to continue discussion, just drop me an email at jim@esgisoftware.com, because I'd love to hear how you're changing the world in your community. Until we get a chance to talk again, have a great day and keep doing what you're doing.